Many drivers I see with hybrids resort to eco-driving. They're trying to save every penny. They drive really gently, really conservatively. That can actually be damaging your hybrid. In this video, we're just going to look at some of the problems associated with that driving style. And we're going to look at how we should be driving our hybrid in order to get the best out of it. In the main, drivers either do very high mileages daily or very short mileages, and some drivers do a mix of the two. Maybe weekdays they're doing very short trips, and at the weekend they do long trips. Now, with hybrids, the engine never really gets that warm. It's not being used all the time. In fact, in a lot of cases, running around town at low speeds, it's usually about 25 to 27 miles an hour and lower, the electric only motor is doing all the work, and then the combustion engine kicks in to supplement that power. This means that that internal combustion engine is not warming up. Now, manufacturers have really tightened up the tolerances. The associated problems that you would get on older engines with excessive blow-by is certainly minimized on your modern hybrid engine. And the formulation of oil is also much thinner. Although it's still a multi-grade, it's not as multi-grade as the older oils, so it flows quite well when it's cold, and it still ideally wants to warm up to an operating temperature. The problem though is with very cold engines, and crucially not allowing the engine to fully warm up, we are dumping moisture and fuel into the oil, and that is going to degrade the oil. If you remove the filler cap on your hybrid and just look underneath, if you see a sort of mayonnaise substance forming under that filler cap, that is an indicator that the oil has become saturated with moisture and fuel. It doesn't mix very well with the oil, and that's why we see this mayonnaise type deposit forming. And that is a classic indicator that the driver has never allowed the engine to warm up fully. If we have a hybrid, then it is really good to drive it hard. Don't drive it on electric only mode all the time. Make sure we boot it, we allow the engine to warm up, and then we enjoy a spirited drive. That's how the car was designed to run. It wasn't designed to run at extremely low RPM or very intermittently with short bursts of power from the combustion engine. A lot of hybrid engines are extremely reliable. The Toyota Lexus group, for example, sit at the top of league tables, and most of their cars now are hybrid engines. They've really perfected the art of the hybrid engine, but they are still subject to these problems. And we're talking about a problem that could perhaps shorten the lifespan of the car. Maybe the car would happily run to 300,000 miles, and our driver neglect of just eco-driving and doing short journeys is knocking 50,000 off that potential. That might not bother us if we're planning to sell the car, but if we want to hang on to the car and maintain its reliability, we should really try to get the engine to warm up at least once or twice a week, burn off all this moisture that is collected in the oil. And if we do only do short journeys and we don't have the option of these spirited long drives at regular periods, it makes sense to change the oil more frequently. That's where the damage is accumulated, or that is where the problem is going to arise. As the oil starts to degrade, it's not going to lubricate the engine as effectively, and that's where we're going to start increasing the wear and tear on the engine. And it's a runaway situation. A brand new engine has got really tight tolerances. As the engine wears and starts to wear more quickly, those tolerances are reduced. The risk of this blow-by problem and the moisture escaping into the oil goes up exponentially as the wear and tear happens on the engine. So it's something that accelerates and builds up into a bigger problem over time. If we buy a high mileage hybrid vehicle, it would certainly be worth just investigating how the vehicle has been driven. Ask the person if they've done long journeys or it's been mainly short journeys. And if it's been short journeys and they've not changed the oil that often, it might be a case of walking away from that. You might be buying a whole host of problems that you don't want. Let me know what your experience has been with a hybrid vehicle. Are you able to get the engine up to operating temperature once or twice a week or every day, or has it never really got up to operating temperature? And if you take the filler cap off, do you notice this mayonnaise substance forming in that? I've been told by quite a few people that this is a significant problem with hybrids, but hopefully by changing the oil and adjusting our driving style, just driving a little more aggressively on a warm engine will go a long way to minimizing this problem in the future. If we have a car, let's enjoy it. Let's use it as the manufacturer intended. I'm not endorsing ridiculously spirited driving, doing burnouts and donuts everywhere and screeching around the corners, but just enjoy the revs. Use the full RPM range occasionally when that engine has fully warmed up, and that'll go a long way to preserving the life of the engine and increase our driver enjoyment. And in a lot of cases, because we're using the torque band or the power band, we're going to be getting better fuel economy, which is a big worry for drivers. They tend to be afraid to use the accelerator pedal because it's going to cost them money. Thanks for watching this video. Please boot the like button. That helps us to get out there. The algorithm loves to see that, loves to know that you're commenting on these videos. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. That also helps us to get out there, and you won't miss out on the great content we've got planned. And speaking of great content, you've got this playlist and this video that you should find really interesting. Thanks for watching. See you in this next video.